quote-unquote sworn enemies on the cricket pitch now coming together. But most people have forgotten that you did come together. In fact, takes me back to the first ever season of the IPL. You were both on the same side. All we remember is the 158 by Brendan McCullum, but the two of you were together. My question to you is, as teammates for the first time. Ricky, I'll start with you.
Yeah, well, I think I remember as much. I don't know what year, but I remember a lot of the lead up to the game. It was like a rock concert. It was all happening just before the first ball of that IPL started, and then we were lucky enough to win the toss. I think win the toss and bat, and Brendan McCullum went out and just set an example about what the T20 game was going to be all about. It was just an unbelievable innings. I mean, 158 in the first game of the IPL was incredible. You know, there were some other side stories to it as well. We had Dinder playing his first game. He sort of came out of nowhere and sort of begged with us to sort of give him an opportunity, and he got a contract and got early wickets for us as well. So it was, I think the whole lead up to that first game though, it was more about, I guess, the showbiz side really of IPL cricket, and it was almost like the cricket was the sideshow to that on that night. But it was great to be involved in that first season with the Knight Riders, and obviously play under Sourav as captain was a lot of fun.
Did you pick his brains? You were captain, but Ricky's, while he was your teammate?
Always I did that, you know, his brains in the World Cup final also. Only thing, he got a big 140, so you know, he's been a great friend with the Knight Riders for the first season, and then he left.
No, I think we're back now. Can you hear us?
Hello. Yeah.
Oh, super. Should I?
You know, those 4 games he was there, but then he had to leave for national duty. It was still early days in IPL, and we were exactly trying to find out how to get the teams right and who's available and who is not. But as you said, very happy to be with him here. Obviously, he's the head coach and leads the team from the front, and we'll try and support him in every possible way.
Since we're looking back and reminiscing the times that you guys played together, I'm also going to look at times that you were against each other. 2008 Sydney Test match, were you out or not?
He said I was out, so I was out.
Okay.
Michael Clark said you were out. I just backed him up. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but you know, now they're together. So, Ricky, how do you see Sourav's role as well? I know he's an advisor, but do you see him chip in day to day or once in a while?
Absolutely, day to day. We sat down a couple of days ago to talk about how we thought we'd best work together. Basically, with Sourav being an advisor to the group, I just seeing him basically as being another brain, another set of eyes, and another set of ears to watch what we're doing, listen to what we're trying to do, and come up with his own ideas as to how we can be better. I mean, that's the bottom line. I think, you know, we'd be crazy, the Capitals, going into this season, not to have as many very smart cricket people around the team as we possibly can. I mean, the overall objective for the Delhi Capitals this year is to win the IPL, and we want to give ourselves every opportunity to do that. So with people of Sourav's calibre around, and we'll do a lot of talking, and we'll talk to the players a lot. We'll try and find ways just to improve the players on a daily basis, and if we can do that, then, you know, hopefully the results will come for us.
Exactly. That's our one-point agenda, both of us, that the team has to play well, and we'll do everything to get that going.
Okay, this is the best part of the interview that I really enjoy. It's called Rapid Fire, and since we're talking about T10, while you were competing at the internationals.
Well, I absolutely admired his leadership style of the Indian team. I thought he really gave them a bit of presence that they probably didn't have before he took over as Indian captain. I envied the way that he hit spin bowling. I couldn't do it. I couldn't play spin bowling anywhere near as well as he could. So I envied. I wish I could have. And what was the third part of the question?
That you just about tolerate.
Just about tolerate. Oh, I didn't like how he used to keep us Australian captains waiting for the toss. He didn't do it to me. He might have done it to Steve Waugh a couple of times. I'm not sure if it was on purpose or not, but it's a bit of folklore in Australian cricket history.
It is an urban legend. Correct. Okay. Now the same question to you. The thing that you admired the most about Ricky?
Everything, actually. The way he batted, the way he led, the way he went about his job, the energy he has in his cricket. You know, a fantastic cricketer of our generation, and I've seen every bit of him from my entire career. The way he played big matches, the way he got the team going in the finals, winning 2 World Cups as captain. You know, it's a remarkable achievement.
And you were envious of one thing that he had, you wish you did too?
The way he played the pull shot on the front foot.
Yeah.
He would just go on the front foot and hit you anywhere from mid-wicket to fine leg.
And finally, thing that you tolerated about him as a rival captain?
I think he was fine. There was nothing Nothing with Ricky.
Just fine, was I? Just
Very
fine.
good. Okay, I would say very good. There was nothing with Ricky who you would feel that, a bit annoying, or he's done something different. He was well behaved on the field, but played with intensity, played with character, and competed. So, and a great ambassador to the game.
Okay, your one word or a one line response to the age-old cliche in cricket that a captain is as good as his team.
I think that's 100% true.
Okay.
100% true, yeah.
Radha?
I agree, absolutely. Yes, you can influence and make it better, but you still have to have the quality to be successful.
Okay. One.
Because of the brand new, fresh start, I think the rebranding, the new owners, the strong logo that we've got of this team. We think we've done a good job at the auction table. We've got a good blend of youth and experience in our squad. And if us guys work really well together and do the right thing by the players, then I think we can achieve some pretty special things this season.
One reason, Dada, you think this could be Delhi's season? Anyone, the first one that comes to your mind?
Well, it has to start somewhere, and I think this is the season.
Okay. Now just fill in the blank. Shikhar Dhawan returning to Delhi is like?
I don't know, but I'm pretty happy that he's back at Delhi, yeah.
Okay. Happy, okay.
Homecoming?
Homecoming, okay. Last season, Delhi unleashed Lami Chane. We all got to see him then, and from there on, he's gone ahead and done so well in other T20 leagues. One unknown sort of a player or a commodity in Delhi that we need to watch out for this season, if you had to pick one.
Sherfane Rutherford.
Dada?
Yes, from the state of the country of Clive Lloyd, Sherfane Rutherford.
Okay, so. Correct. Okay, I have a question on him a little later. The biggest lesson, you were part of the Delhi team, so I'll only get you to answer. The biggest lesson from last season, in a word or a line?
We probably changed our lineup too often last year. We want to try and keep a more settled group of players together.
Okay. Title favourites for the 2019 season, along with Delhi Capitals, if you had to pick another team?
I think it's always hard to go past CSK.
Rather?
There are quite a few actually. Mumbai is good, CSK is good. Hopefully RCB turns it around at some stage, with the quality they have. But I would believe it's us.
Okay. Finally, now when I say of IPL as well, 3.5 seasons with them, now you have to, in a sense, win over the Delhi fans. So you got to tell me a few reasons why. I'll start with Dada, you this time. And I think this is the toughest question that you'll be asked. Tell me 1, 2, or at least 3 reasons you think Delhi is better than Kolkata.
It's a very hard question for me to answer, but I would say butter chicken.
Okay.
The lovely houses. When you look around from this top floor, you see the buildings. And maybe the weather at times. Not all the time, but at times.
Okay, you played it safe because you have to land back in Kolkata.
Well, I was going to say the food as well. And what I've noticed since I've been here this time in particular is the weather. I didn't know that Delhi actually had a winter, but it's actually a little bit cooler now than I've ever known it to be anywhere in India. So, coming from Melbourne in Australia, this is weather that I like a lot more than the humidity in Mumbai all the time.
That's only one thing you're going to pick up.
I said the chicken, the food as well.
Oh, the food as well. Okay.
So I've only got 2.
Actually, they have a very cold winter.
Yes.
It gets very cold here, about 2 or 3 degrees in the winter.
Yes, correct. We had a very extended winter this time around. Okay, now getting into the team combination, we're done with the rapid fire. One thing that really stands out with the Delhi team, and Ricky, I'll get you on that, is that I think no other team has as many bowling options as Delhi Capital does. I think you got about roughly 15 to 16 bowling options. Was that something that you had in mind? Is that part of the strategy when you went to the auction table?
Well, if you look at our top order batting as well, we were really conscious of trying to sum up our top order batting with Indian batsmen. So we went out with Shikhar, Prithvi, Shreyas and Rishabh at the top.
Yeah.
Though you think those 4 guys are going to be the basis of our batting right through the tournament. So that then gave us an option to try and pick a few more all-rounders. So Chris Morris, Rutherford, Chemo, Paul, we've got all-rounders in that sort of category. Jalaj, Saxena, Akshay Patel, these sort of guys, Harshal Patel. So we've got a lot of all-rounders, which gives us all those bowling options. And I think as an IPL tournament goes on, you do need to have great flexibility. You need guys that can play different roles in different positions in your lineup. So was it a conscious effort? Yes, it was a conscious effort to have a lot of different options. That gives us the ability now to put, even looking ahead to our first game, we could put six or seven different playing combinations, you know, down on a team sheet, and still have very good teams. So we're happy, really happy with the squad. As Sourav said, you know, having a good squad is one thing, but actually playing, you know, pressure situations is a different thing in the IPL. So that's where we have to get our players to the level of playing good cricket under pressure.
The same question to you. I mean, it's often said that T20 is a batsman's game, but do you think...
Definitely. If you have a good bowling unit, you'll be successful more number of times. And I think the best teams, if you look around, they have a very good bowling lineup. And I think that's very, very important, because runs saved is runs scored, I've always believed.
Talking about bowling, and we mentioned Lami Chane, you know, he was a revelation because most of the world only saw him when he played for the Delhi last season. He only came in, I think, at the 11th game. And are these things that you now have in mind going ahead into this season?
Yeah, look, we probably could have unleashed him a little bit earlier last year. The problem we had last season, our first 5 games were all on the road, so we weren't playing on spinning conditions all the time. It was when we came back to Delhi on a wicket that we understood, that we knew was probably going to be a little bit slower and turn a little bit more, that we got the 2 leg spinners playing in the same team. So that worked pretty well. Mishra was also in really good form at the back end of last season, and we hope that he can start this season in that same sort of form. So Lamachani, you know, I've seen him again in the Big Bash this year. He bowled beautifully over there. He's been around the world playing T20 cricket lately, so he arrives with us tomorrow. So hopefully he's in a good frame of mind, and physically he's okay, and hopefully he can bowl as well at the start of this season as he did at the end of last season.
All right, he had a great Caribbean League as well as the great PSL. Now he joins Delhi, staying with opinion that he still has it in him to perform very well at the white format, the white ball format.
I think he's bowling his best at the moment. Yes, when you say that, you say in regards to when you see him in Test cricket, the way he bowled in England, the way he bowled in Australia. I think he has matured, so much of experience under his belt, and I think he's really working hard in the nets, and he will do well, because, you know, I don't believe that someone's a T20 bowler, someone's a 50 over bowler, someone's a Test bowler. Test bowler is the highest level of bowling you can achieve. You got to be really good at that level, and I'm not saying that you don't have to be good at the 50 overs or the 20 over level, but Ishant has it in him, the ability to adjust and reshape his bowling in this format, and he's working very hard in the nets. You can see that here is someone who's very keen to turn it around, and you always go for players like that who want to turn it around and are very keen when you pick a squad.
You had the opportunity to be playing against Ishant Sharma. How have you seen his progression from the time that you were playing against him to now?
I would agree with what Sourav had to say there. I obviously watched him very closely in the Australian Test series. He bowled beautifully over there, absolutely, and his pace was up. That's what I like to see over there. His pace was sort of in the low 140 kilometres an hour, and that says, one, that he's in control of his action and he's confident. And I also agree with what Sourav has to say, that he is reshaping his bowling. I mean, we've watched him very closely in a practice game we played a couple of nights ago. He bowled well in the game, he stayed on after the game, did some extra target bowling stuff, and his ability to hit his Yorkers right now is probably better than it's ever been before. The other thing that he brings is great experience to our lineup. You know, it's invaluable in the T20 format. And I think it's been talked about for a long time that the T20 game is probably a young man's game. I think Sourav and I probably believe it's not that. It's probably an older person's game, that an experienced player's game that can think their way through tough situations in the game. And
one player that Pant, he had a great time with the team last season as well, explosive batsman, but he now comes into the IPL with a few question marks hanging over his head with regards to his temperament in the shorter format. But after that, in the shorter format, has been guilty of throwing his wicket away.
You know, I disagree with it, because look at the way he played in the IPL last year. You know, he got a full tournament to play, 14 games, and he scored probably the second highest run getter in the IPL last year. See, the problem with him in the shorter format is he doesn't get regular cricket. You know, because you have a champion in MS Dhoni who actually plays most of the shorter format. So Rishabh is coming in and going out all the time, and that's never good for anybody, however quality a player you are. The reason he succeeds in Test cricket because he plays consistently. You know, how many Indian batsmen has got Indian wicketkeeper batsman has got Test hundreds in England and Australia, and he scored it at ease. It's not that he struggled, it's not that he looked out of place when it is fast and pacey. For me, he is your future. For the next 10 years, you will see that boy a lot in all formats of the game, and not because he plays for Delhi. He can play for anybody he wants, but just serious talent. He's a hard worker. I've been watching him in the nets for the last 4 years. He's always the first one to come out, bat for longer periods, get into the gym and training, and he'll be a huge asset to Indian cricket in the years to come.
What do you tell him, Ricky? You know, because now when he comes into the team, there are talks of whether he'll make the World Cup.
Well, the first thing I would do if I was an Indian selector is I'd be picking him in that World Cup squad and I'd be playing him as a batter. I'd play him at number 4 in the Indian team. He's the sort of guy with that sort of talent that can win you a World Cup. He's just got that X-factor type about him that could win a World Cup for you. World Cup selection, I'm sure. So, look, there's no
thought about, from Ricky about Rishabh batting him at number 4. And I'd like to ask you, while you were captain, I know you pushed someone like a Virendra Sehwag up because you realized he'd do very well top of the order. MS Dhoni was another player that you pushed. Could that be the secret? Because he does well in the IPL batting at number 3 for Delhi.
You get overs to play, you score runs. If you don't play deliveries, how will you score runs? The lower you go, the lesser number of deliveries you play, and it's happened to him in T20, it's happened to him in one-day cricket. So, you know, anybody who wants to succeed in the shorter format of the game is to go up the order. You've seen the best in the world do that. So that's always for me the solution. And as Ricky said, if you put Rishabh up at number 4, he will score runs for you because he's just so talented. He's got so much time to play fast bowling that you can't see Rishabh Pant failing at the top level. And he hasn't actually, you know, in his short career. I think he's been remarkable for India. And once he starts getting opportunities consistently, he'll just be a different player.
Since we're talking about him, because I think he only made his international debut a few months ago.
Well, he actually arrived without a kit, if you can imagine. He didn't have any, he had no bats, no gloves, no shoes, nothing. So he'd been borrowing everyone's kit for the last couple of days of practice. But I think like a lot of those young West Indian players, they're chock full of talent. There's just such strong, clean hitters of the cricket ball that they, you know, we've seen it in the past with guys like Pollard and Russell and these type of guys that have been involved in the IPL. They're match winners in their own right. You know, he can bowl some overs for us as well. So, look, he's a really exciting match-winning sort of talent that will sort of put a really good bookend on our top-order Indian batting. So I'm excited. He just needs a little bit more time in these Indian conditions just to get used to the wickets and the way that they play, but he's a powerful striker of the ball.
If that video is anything to go by that Delhi Capitals put on their social media feed, he does hit very, very long sixes. So looking forward to another West Indian. Finally, at the end of our discussion, I'd like to talk about IPL getting over just 2 weeks before the World Cup. And there's plenty of talk about fatigue setting.
Play, you know, you don't play forever. How many cricketers get to play 15, 16 years of international cricket? So I don't think any of them should worry about being fatigued, being tired. Just find a way to get fresh, because I've always said there's a limited time to play the sport, and when you're getting opportunities at the international level, at the IPL level, you know, this will not come back. So just find a way to get rest, find a way to stay fresh, and keep playing. You know, not playing is not the solution. Even our generations played a lot of cricket. Yes, the IPL wasn't there maybe towards the end of our careers when IPL came in, but cricket was same in the past. And I keep saying that before you realize, you'll see 10, 12, 13 years have just flown away. So just make the most of it and play every possible cricket match you can.
Ricky, your take, because, you know, with a couple...
Look, I think that's a really tough question to answer. We all know how big a deal the World Cup is, comes around every 4 years. You know, aside from a couple of the biggest test series that's played around the world now, it's probably the pinnacle of world cricket. So, and I can see it from a board's point of view that they want to make sure that they can put their best team on the park for that entire World Cup. But we'll see how it's managed. I mean, we know that the Australian players are arriving late, they're leaving early. It sounds like some of the South African players might have to leave a fraction early as well. So they're doing whatever they can to look after their players. I'm sure at some stage as well, some of the Indian fast bowlers might be on some sort of restrictions at the back end of this tournament. But at the end of the day, a lot of that that's out of our hands. We can't control that. You know, we'll continue to pick our best 11 players, put them on the field and try and win as many games as we can. That's what we're here for.
Dada, your thoughts on that? Should it be left to the players? Or?
To the players. If they want to play and if they keep performing, why should you stop it? It's their careers. They want to participate in every format of the game like we did when we were young and wanted to play test cricket and one-day cricket. So it should be left to the players, and players will find their way. Being injured is not being unfit. You know, when you play at the top level consistently, there are times you will get injured. And there's no guarantee that when you play for the country, you don't get injured. So I think there are no hard and fast rules. I believe in one thing, you know, as a player, when you get an opportunity to play, play. Never say I don't want to play. It doesn't work.
All right, we have about 10 minutes for question answer session. So if you could just raise your hand and who the cameras want. So, okay.
दादा अभी आपने कुछ दिनों पहले कहा था कि पुजारा आपकी चॉइस हो सकते हैं नंबर 4 के लिए. अभी रिकी ने कहा कि ऋषभ पंत भी हो सकते हैं. तो उनको कैसे एडवाइस करेंगे आप ऋषभ?
पुजारा इसीलिए मैं कहता हूँ क्योंकि बहुत अच्छे फॉर्म में है. ऑस्ट्रेलिया में इतनी अच्छी बल्लेबाजी की है. मैं राहुल द्रविड़ को देखा हूँ मेरे समय वर्ल्ड कप खेलते हुए, वनडे क्रिकेट खेलते हुए 4 नंबर 5 नंबर पे उसको एक रोल दिया जाता. तो मैं समझता हूँ अगर आपके पास जो 4 नंबर पे ऑप्शंस अगर नहीं मिल रहे हैं, जो रन बना रहे हैं, तो वो आप सोच सकते हैं. बट मैं समझता हूँ ऋषभ पंत भी एक ऑप्शन है 4 नंबर पे भारत के लिए. अंबती रायडू है एक ऑप्शन. मैं जब दूर से देखता हूँ तो मुझे लगता है विराट कोहली अपने दिमाग में सोच के रखा है कि उनका 4 नंबर कौन है. ये हम अपने ओपिनियंस दे सकते हैं, सोच दे सकते हैं, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं मुझे लगता है कि विराट कोहली को पता है कि उसका 4 नंबर कौन है वर्ल्ड कप में.
Okay, yeah.
And we have seen in the past also, you know, teams have changed the captain.
See, I believe in consistency because this format requires a clear head and free hitting. So I am a firm believer in consistency and keeping players together. Chennai Super Kings has succeeded with that policy. Mumbai Indians have succeeded with that policy, and I am a firm believer in that policy. And you know, when you talk about Virat Kohli and keeping him as captain for over a decade, just see what he's done. You know what he's done with the bat in every format of the game. You know, an absolute champion, and he deserves to be captain of RCB for whatever time. I'm sure he will turn it around, and hopefully we beat them when we play them at some stage during this tournament. But when you talk about Virat Kohli, his achievements just stands out.
आपने लंबी खेली. अभी नए लड़कों में जिस तरह का आपका जोश था, वो मतलब जैसे वर्ल्ड कप में इंग्लैंड में खासतौर पे आपका परफॉर्मेंस बहुत अच्छा रहा. आपकी क्या एडवाइस होगी वर्ल्ड कप के लिए इन बच्चों को?
ट्रॉफी भारत इंग्लैंड में खेला, फाइनल तक पहुंचे, और हमको लगा नहीं था कि हम फाइनल हार जाएंगे, लेकिन हम फाइनल हारे. वो किसी भी मैच में हो सकता है. बट इस टीम में काबिलियत इतना है, जिस टीम में शिखर धवन, रोहित शर्मा, विराट कोहली, MS धोनी, बुमराह, यू नो, कुलदीप जैसे खिलाड़ी हो, भुवनेश्वर कुमार जैसे खिलाड़ी हो, वो हर टूर्नामेंट में दावेदार रहेंगे. और भारत जब इंग्लैंड जाएगा, मेरे हिसाब से वो फेवरेट्स रहेंगे. मैं फेवरेट्स टैग में विश्वास नहीं करता, बट मैं ये कहूँगा कि उनके पास टीम है आखिरी तक जाने का. ये वर्ल्ड कप मेरे हिसाब से बहुत अच्छा वर्ल्ड कप रहेगा, बहुत कम्पिटिटिव वर्ल्ड कप रहेगा, क्योंकि फॉर्मेट बहुत अच्छा है. हर प्लेयर को, हर टीम को एक दूसरे के साथ खेलना पड़ता है. जो सबसे बेहतरीन टीम है 4, वो क्वालिफाई करेंगे सेमीफाइनल के लिए. तो मैं समझता हूँ ये एक मजबूत फॉर्मेट है वर्ल्ड कप का. और इस टीम के लिए मेरा कोई आइडियाज़ या ओपिनियंस, कोई एडवाइस नहीं है. मैं यही कहूँगा कि फ्रीली खेले, खुल के खेले, और जो काबिलियत है इस टीम में, आप पहले 3 बल्लेबाज का रिकॉर्ड देखिए वनडे क्रिकेट में. मैं समझता हूँ किसी भी टीम में, बाकी जो 9 टीम है वर्ल्ड क्रिकेट में, इतने रिकॉर्ड्स किसी के पास नहीं है. रोहित शर्मा के स्टैट्स, शिखर धवन के स्टैट्स, और उसके बाद विराट कोहली. तो ये बहुत मजबूत टीम है, और आशा करेंगे कि फिट रहे सारे और अच्छा क्रिकेट खेले.
सौरभ,
कहीं पे भी खेल ले, वो इतने बड़े प्लेयर है, वो किधर भी रन बनाएंगे. लेकिन मैं समझता हूँ 3 नंबर उनके लिए सही जगह है.
Okay, Suman.
Saurav, this is Shuman. Everyone else, for that matter, should not blame India for not reaching the semi-finals if that happens because of the Pakistan match. What is your personal take on that? And
It's
do
his
you think,
opinion. It's his opinion, and to be honest, I don't have an opinion on this.
But would you say that what is your position? Should India play against Pakistan in the World Cup, or?
I don't know how they will avoid. So it's up to it's. As I said, I don't have an opinion.
Okay.
There are 2 questions for you. First of all, you know, are you managing your own workload because you're handling Cricket Association of Bengal, TV commitments, and now this additional responsibility?
TV I hardly do because I don't commentate at all because I can't leave. But this is I'm very excited about. You know, I finished playing 5 years ago, and I've been given this opportunity to work with as great as Ricky, and it's a challenge to turn this team around. So I'm very, very excited. You know, whatever you do, but getting back to the cricket field is probably the most satisfying thing for any cricketer. And I'm managing, as I said, you don't get opportunities, And when you get opportunities, you don't worry about how you manage it, you just manage it.
The other question he had about India being dependent.
He's got one more.
Virat and Bumrah.
The question was, are we too dependent? I don't think so. Yes, Virat is huge, and every generation of Indian cricket, all great teams have produced such players who are very good. You know, in our generation there was Sachin. In Ricky's generation it was Ricky himself. When you looked at the West Indies in the past, maybe Brian Lara. So every generation has produced champions, and Virat Kohli is an absolute champion. But I honestly feel that it's not in this team that if Virat Kohli doesn't perform, this team will not win. Look at Rohit's record. Look at Shekhar's record. You know, look at MS Dhoni. I find Kedar Yadav a very competent number 6 batsman, very sharp. He knows what he does at number 6, and then the bowling attack. You know, you've got Bumrah, Bhuvi, who did exceptionally well in whatever little bit of opportunities he got in this tour against Australia. This is a very good side. This is a side which doesn't have too many weaknesses. It's just that they have to be at the top of the game.
Okay, we have one this side here.
So how do you plan to go about that task? How do you plan to balance that, especially with Steve Smith and David Warner around?
Look, it's pretty simple. It's 99% of my time right now is with the Delhi Capitals, and one phone conversation every week with Justin Langer about what's happening around the Australian team is about the only thing that's happening. Really, you know, my role with the Australian team doesn't start until the end of the IPL. So that's how it is. I'm, as I said, 100% committed here. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything in my power to make sure I'm giving my players the best chance of winning the IPL this year. What happens in the World Cup happens once I'm done with this season of IPL cricket. Obviously, the Australian team's away at the moment, and I've had one phone conversation with Justin since I've been here. So it's very, very minimal what I'm doing around the Australian cricket team. I'm 100% focused and committed to being the best coach I can be of the Delhi Capitals. With the Australian team? No, I'm not involved in that at all. And to be honest, I don't really care about that until the World Cup comes around when I'm involved with the team.
Do they have a mic there? Yeah, go ahead.
Will you include him in your World Cup squad? And if you do, how do you accommodate him when David Warner comes back?
The Australian World Cup squad, but I think we all saw the last few weeks just how skillful a player Usman Khawaja is and can be. And I think the thing when you see him play like that, it just makes you wonder why he doesn't do it a bit more regularly. I think that's the disappointing thing as far as he's concerned. But look, I'd be surprised if Khawaja wasn't in the squad. I think Warner and him could be in the same squad. They might not necessarily be in the same 11, or who knows, they could. You know, Khawaja could probably slot down to 3 when Warner comes in, and Steve Smith might bat at 4 or 5 or something like that, just to really shore up those middle overs against spin bowling in India. So it's going to be a tough job for the Australian selectors now. I think the fact that they've put so many players over the last 12 months and given opportunity to so many players, it's probably created a situation now where they've probably got 20 players that they want to have in their World Cup squad, but they've got to cut that down to 15. So it's a good position for the Australian team to be in, and as I said, thankfully I'm not a selector because that's going to be a tough job.
Okay, Vivi.
Ricky, you faced...
Oh, look, I think he's bowling as well as ever right now. He's obviously a lot more mature bowler now than he was then. I think he's a lot smarter bowler than he was back then, but all the skills he have probably been slightly refined as well. So I'm really excited to work with Ishant, and I've been working pretty closely with him already the last couple of days. He's in a good frame of mind. Physically, he's really good, and he's bowling really well. So I think Ishant Sharma's got a huge role to play for the Delhi Capitals this season.
Yeah, one question for Ricky and one for the take on the part of the other teams to underestimate a power like Australia, and after a brilliant outing they had against India in India.
Look, it's a World Cup. I mean, no team is going to go into any game of a World Cup not thinking that they're a chance of losing. You know, you can't afford to take anything for granted going into any game in a World Cup. So, look, it's funny how quickly things can change. I mean, it's 2 weeks ago, not a single person in the world would have given Australia a chance of winning the World Cup. On the back of 3 really good wins over here in a row, then all of a sudden everyone's talking about Australia again. To be honest, you know, we all talk about favourites going in. The players don't think about that at all. The players don't think about being favourites, second favourites, third favourites. All they want to do is turn up, prepare themselves as well as they can, and play the best cricket every opportunity they get. It's as simple as that. So Look, I don't. But what's happened of late, I don't think any team will be taking Australia for granted, as they won't be taking India for granted on the back of losing that series. I think, everyone's making a lot about the result from Australia, and they've been a bit more negative towards India. There's no need for that at all. This Indian team is a very, very good cricket team. That whatever position they've got up for grabs in the batting order, they'll fill that with a quality player, and they'll go into the World Cup as one of the, if not the favourites, certainly in the top two.
The question to you is that you spoke about Ambati Raidu rather than dropping him after the disappointment of the 3 ODIs, like the way they've backed Mahi and Shikhar despite all the failures.
See, as I said, I think Virat knows at the back of his head who is his number 4. Maybe in this series he's just tried a bit. He's given others an opportunity because he knows this is the last opportunity before the World Cup to see if he can find somebody different, see what Vijay Shankar does, or see what Rishabh Pant does, and see if they can try and strengthen the team in some way or the other. But I think he knows at the back of his mind, and I'm sure as a captain you speak to the player that, listen, I'm doing this, but I know who's going to be my player and this is the way it's going to go. So these sort of discussions go on in a team atmosphere. And I completely agree with you that anybody you pick, you have to remain consistent with him for a period of time in any format of cricket. Whether it's Kohli, whether it's Dhawan, whether it's Raidu, whether it's the young player which is going to come 4 years, 5 years down the line. You have to make him believe that he's good. You have to make him believe that he's a part of the system or the team who you think can win a competition, and then allow him to play freely. You can put pressure, but don't put so much pressure that a player will break. I think that's the fine balance every captain, every coach has to do in a side. And I think Virat Kohli knows his job very well, and I think he's been marvellous for India.
Okay, we've got last 4 questions now. Yeah.
The T20 format is, more for wise man's game. And when you look at this this Delhi Capital team, it looks quite a young squad. So how do you see that theory applying to the Delhi Capitals?
Why do you say it looks young? I don't think it looks that young at all. Maybe Prithvi is really only the young player that we'll have in our starting 11. Shikhar's played for 20 years. Shreyas Iyer's played just about every IPL, certainly played the last 7 or 8 IPL tournaments. Shreyas is an Indian international player, so I mean Rishabh's not young either. Colin Ingram, Shafane Rutherford. I think we've got a good balance, and I think that's what I said. I think you need to have that balance of youth and experience. So even on the fast bowling side of things, we've got Chris Morris, Rabada, Bolt, a lot of experience there. Ishant Sharma, a lot of experience there. Mishra, a lot of experience there. So, I think we've got that balance is just about right. Sandeep, yes, is a young guy, but he's played a bit of cricket of late. So we might have maybe 3 younger sort of guys in our starting 11. The majority will be experienced.
तो शायद एक और रोल भी आपके पास आ गया कि 3-4 जो खिलाड़ी इंडिया का फ्यूचर बन सकते हैं शायद उनको भी तैयार करने का.
बिल्कुल, देखिए आप कोई भी लेवल ऑफ क्रिकेट खेलते हैं ना, तो आप ये सोच के खेलते कि आप इम्प्रूव करें, आप अच्छे बने. क्योंकि अगर आप अच्छे बनेंगे तो आपको सिर्फ टेम्परामेंटली एडजस्ट करना है हर फॉर्मेट में. तो यही करने की कोशिश करते हैं कि स्किल वाइज इनको अच्छा बनाएं और इम्प्रूव करें. देखिए ये सारे सक्सेसफुल हुए हैं. अब पृथ्वी शॉ की बात कर रहे हैं, आप उनका करियर देख लीजिए. जहाँ जहाँ उनको मौका मिला है, इंडिया इंडिया अंडर-19 हर जगह उन्होंने शतक लगाई है. वो ऐसे एक खिलाड़ी हैं जो अपने परफॉर्मेंस के बलबूते पे इंडिया के लिए खेला है, और इतने कम उम्र में ऐसा पृथ्वी शॉ को देख के ऐसा नहीं लगता कि यार ये कहाँ फेल हुआ है. मुंबई की डेब्यू में शतक, टेस्ट डेब्यू में शतक, इंडिया ए की डेब्यू में शतक, इंग्लैंड में, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में, न्यूजीलैंड में हर जगह पृथ्वी शॉ का नाम आता है. तो ये खिलाड़ी ऑब्वियसली बहुत नेचुरली टैलेंटेड है. आप इनको डायरेक्शन देते हैं, आप उनको कहते हैं कि आपको, क्योंकि होता है ना जब आप खेलते रहते हो, बहुत सारे लोगों से मिलते हो, तो बहुत सारे इनपुट्स आपके दिमाग में आता है. उनको ये समझना या समझाना है कि जो आपके लिए ठीक है वो करे, क्योंकि आप इतना आगे नहीं पहुंच पाते अगर आपके पास टैलेंट नहीं हो. मनजोत कलरा की आप बात की है, मैं देखा वो वर्ल्ड कप में था न्यूजीलैंड में, हमारे साथ ट्रेनिंग करे. देखने से ही पता चलता है कि नेचुरल एबिलिटी है, और जितना खेलेंगे उतना अच्छा बनते जाएंगे, क्योंकि ये गेम दिमाग का गेम है, सिचुएशन के साथ एडजस्ट करने का गेम है. तो वही हम सिखाते हैं, वही हम बोलने की कोशिश करते, लेकिन उनको ज़्यादा बदलने की नहीं सोचते, क्योंकि उनका एक गेम है जिससे कि वो सक्सेसफुल होता है. और ये IPL में इतना समय नहीं है कि आप उसको बदल दो, क्योंकि ये बदलना समय के साथ होता है. और देखेंगे ये सारे खिलाड़ी 3, 4, 5 साल बाद, जैसे विराट कोहली आया था 2010 में, शिखर धवन आया था 13-14 में, ये खिलाड़ी समय के साथ भारत के लिए एसेट बन चुके हैं, तो ये भी बनेंगे समय के साथ.
Yeah, final question.
दादा अभी था,
आप उनका रिकॉर्ड देखिए, 120 मैच में 16 शतक लगा चुके हैं. इससे ज़्यादा क्या करेंगे वो यार.
सो केएल राहुल भी एक ऑप्शन है, तो आपको क्या लगता है वर्ल्ड कप के लिए कौन ज़्यादा बेटर है, शिखर
केएल
धवन या
राहुल भी
केएल
ऑप्शन है. केएल राहुल भी बहुत बेहतरीन प्लेयर है हर फॉर्मेट में, लेकिन हमारे जो 3 टॉप ऑर्डर है ना, रोहित शर्मा, शिखर धवन और विराट कोहली, दुनिया में किसी के टीम के पास ये टॉप ऑर्डर नहीं है. हम ऑस्ट्रेलिया को देखे, यहाँ पे उस्मान ख्वाजा का बात आपने किया, इतनी बेहतरीन बल्लेबाजी की है. मेरे हिसाब से ऑस्ट्रेलिया बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग टीम होगा इस वर्ल्ड कप के लिए. बट अगर अब हमारे 3 ऊपर के बल्लेबाज देखेंगे, किसी भी टीम में नहीं है. विराट कोहली के पास 40 शतक है, रोहित के पास 22 और शिखर के पास 16, तो मिला लीजिए 80 शतक है तीनों के पास, और वो अभी भी 5, 6, 7 साल खेलेंगे. तो मैं समझता हूँ ये स्ट्रेंथ भारत का स्ट्रेंथ है, और ये कोई अंडर परफॉर्मर नहीं है. मतलब 120 मैच, 130 मैच शिखर धवन के और 16 शतक चुके हैं वनडे क्रिकेट में. बहुत सारे खिलाड़ी के पास नहीं है ऐसे परफॉर्मेंसेस.
Ricky, now the ban on Aaron's World Cup, or Finch should stay as a captain of the Australian team?
No, Steve Smith's not allowed to be captain for another 12 months. So he got a 12-month playing ban and also got another 12 months on top of that as far as leadership's concerned. So I'm pretty sure that Aaron Finch will be the captain going into that World Cup.
So do you think that this is going to be a concern for Australian team regarding as concerning the experience of Steve Smith in the ODI setup and last World Cup was?
That's the final question.
Yeah, sorry, what was the question? I didn't understand.
Yeah. Do you think that Australia going to miss Steve Smith as a captain in the World Cup?
Maybe, but he's out on the field, so he can still help Aaron Finch out. I think that's the way that the team will work. With David Warner and Steve Smith coming back, you've got 2 very experienced players coming back into that lineup and 2 very, very good players. So I would imagine that Aaron Finch would be leaning on Stephen Smith a lot for a bit of advice. Maybe going into the game as far as their preparation, everything's concerned, and maybe a little bit of advice and knowledge as the game is being played. But I don't see it as a concern. I think it showed really good character from Aaron Finch to be able to, even though he wasn't playing well personally for a long time now, to come to India and he played that one really good innings where he made, I think it was 97. But for him to be able to lead well when he wasn't playing well personally, I think says a lot about him. And what we know about Aaron Finch as well is he is a very, very good white ball player. He's probably been Australia's best one-day player for the last couple of years. I think he's made 1100s in the last few seasons, and I think the good sign there is for Australia, even though that he's out of form, if he gets back into form just before the World Cup, then I think that's a real positive for Australia.